Hey everyone, this is Dr. Seymour. Welcome back. We are continuing to talk about emotions. I wanted to show you a tool and share my screen. I wanted to share an emotions tool with you. So here is an example of a way that I expanded emotional vocabulary for myself. So just gathered some synonyms in one place of love. We have love, cherish, grateful, devotion, fondness, appreciation. I have fondness again. I must really like that synonym for love or lust. Then there is also for mad. There's different synonyms or of anger, impatient, annoyed, mad, irritated, anxious, stupid, confused. So these are my own emotions that I gathered in one place that for me are connected. You notice that if you look up the synonym or you look up the word anger in a synonym finder, you're going to find other synonyms that mean angry or mad, different intensities of mad. You may not find anxious or stupid or confused. However, for me, I realized in my 30s that when I am feeling stupid or confused, that's going to escalate to anger, unless I get a hold of it and pay attention to it at a lower intensity. So when I notice that I'm feeling confused, especially if I'm learning something new, I want to get a hold of that confusion, ask myself, what is that telling me that I need, so that I can gain clarity and understanding for myself, so that I don't escalate to the point of being so angry that I can't engage in the task at hand anymore. So for me, in my anger synonyms, I added confused and stupid and anxious. That's me. I encourage you to gather your own emotions. You can use my chart as well if you like, but regarding joy, are we joyful, elated, blissful, delight? Are we feeling cheer, amusement, glee, or charm? With depression or sadness, with depressed, are we feeling abandoned, betrayed, rejected, sad, crummy, discouraged, or lonely? Other synonyms of depressed. Other synonyms of anxiety, are we feeling terrified, scared, fearful, uneasy, nervous, restless, or unsettled? And you notice these gain intensity if you start from the bottom up. Unsettled, restless, nervous, uneasy, fearful, scared, terrified, anxiety. So it's escalating to higher and higher intensities as it moves upward. For the emotion of feeling intolerance, I'm going to start at the bottom. Maybe we're feeling ignorant, noticing feelings of ignorance, narrow-minded, closed off, impatient, mad, angry, rage, all the way up to intolerable. And then the emotion of mean. Are we feeling tight-fisted? Literally, I notice my fist goes in, my hand goes into a fist, and it can escalate if I don't get a hold of it. Tight-fisted, stingy, selfish, bully, miserable, impulsive, hate, mean. With arrogance, ooh, let's not trip on that one if we can avoid it. Maybe we're feeling at lower intensity smugness, aloof, pompous, vain, better than, oh, that just feels yucky. Disdain, egotistical, arrogance. Help us not tread on that one. Definitely get a hold of it if there's smugness or aloofness going on, so we don't get to a point of tripping on all this horrible stuff here. And then the emotion of betrayal. So let's start at the bottom. Maybe feeling tricked, like we've been lied to, deceived, unfaithful. Blue Falcon, that's a military term for definitely somebody you can't trust. Sellout, dishonest, betrayal. So these are different synonyms for betrayal, different synonyms of impulsiveness: hasty, emotional, rash, careless, unpredictable, unmediated, spontaneous, impulsive. And not all of these are bad, right? If we do something spontaneous for fun or enjoyment to move us towards optimal, that could be an optimal thing, but not if we are, smack dab on worst on the ORI continuum line or moving towards negative worst. The emotion of self-control. I would say self-control is an emotion as well as a behavior. Let's start at lower end of the spectrum, maybe appreciative, humble, patience, balance, respectful, self-restraint, love, self-control. Faithfulness, we have dedicated, committed, love, adore, allegiance, perseverance, loyal, and faithfulness. With humility, that's a good one to camp out on, but we have unassuming, content, kindness, patience, value, appreciative, thankful, humility. Kindness, again, that's a good one to camp out on. With kindness, we might have patience, helpfulness, graciousness, affection, gentleness, courtesy, benevolence, and kindness. With patience, we might have grit, humility, endurance, diligence, perseverance, composure, fortitude, and patience. For peace, other synonyms might be friendship, order, reconciliation, content, calm, love, unity, and peace. And joy, I think I said this one before, we have charm, glee, amusement, cheer, delight, bliss, elation, and joy. And I'm going to read love again. I know I read it before. Is it love or is it lust, fondness, appreciation? Fondness again, because I apparently like that one. Devotion, grateful, cherish, and love. So in the last video, I was talking about the importance of expanding emotional vocabulary. I decided, and I actually took for me, I took the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. And I took those and expanded on synonyms of those words. And then I looked at, what's the opposite of those? The opposite of love is anger. Opposite of joy is depressed. Opposite of peace is anxiety. For me, I'm just saying, for me, this is a chart I created. You could create your own, and then you get to decide what are the emotions you want to focus on, and maybe what's the opposite of those emotions. The opposite of patience, definitely I chose intolerance. The opposite of kindness, I chose mean. The opposite of humility, I chose arrogance. The opposite of faithfulness, I chose betrayal. And then the opposite of self-control, I chose impulsive. And so here is a kind of condensed chart of some primary emotions. And I can always ask myself in any given situation, what emotion am I feeling? What is that emotion maybe telling me that I need? And how can I move towards optimal and meet that need in a healthy way? So to review, remember that emotes are energy in motion, moving up and out to give us intel about what we might need in any given situation, which I usually call that a sit, for a sit report. And then we want to gather the intel about what we might need in any given sit so that we can gather the intel and then optimally consider how we might meet our identified need to empower us and move towards optimal. I capitalize on the word need, capital letter need, to remind us that we are using the emotes as intel for ourselves. This process of thriving in the areas of emotional health is about increasing our awareness and understanding of emotions, emotes. As we do so, we increase self-understanding. Increasing self-understanding and emotional awareness, increasing the emote intel word for our thriving bank from which to pull from. That's what we're doing. So we're expanding that emotional intel, building on that emotional word bank to choose from. And this is about figuring out you. It's about you figuring out how to sit and consider your likes, dislikes, wants, needs, and everything in between for you. We can work on emotional awareness any time of day or night. We don't need to go anywhere, call anyone, or get anything in order to do so. We can use our skills and be courageous and curious as we consider, what are we feeling? What is that emotion telling us maybe that we need? And how can we meet that need in a healthy way? So this is just a little tool, a chart that I created, and I will share it with you in the online program so that you can review it for yourself. Or I challenge you also to make your own. Choose some primary emotions, list synonyms, list the opposite of those primary emotions, and then list synonyms of those opposites as well. And then you can have a kind of a go-to emotional word bank to pull from at any given moment. And if you ever want to branch off of those and choose one of them and Google that word in the synonym finder, you can do that too, so that you can be courageous and curious about what emotion are you feeling in this moment and what maybe is that emotion telling you that you need, so you can move towards optimal on the ORI continuum response line. All right, so enjoy that. That's a little tool for you on building emotional vocabulary, and I will see you in the next module.